when you're providing any kind of service, to your public or to your clientele, regardless of you paying $1 at the door or $10 or $20 at the door, that person that's giving you their money, their work, they're earning money, they're expecting to get their money's worth. So
Right. All right, so I am now on the line with a Mr. DJ Mike Arana. Yeah, so you are a DJ, a vinyl collector, as well as an event organizer. You've been DJing for the past 8 years. If I'm not mistaken, you were born in Lima, Peru, but you currently live in Atlanta, Georgia. Is that right?
that is correct.
Hey, how you doing today, man?
Good, man. Just getting ready for another day.
I understand, bro.
How's
Um,
your how's your how's your day going?
Not too bad, man. I'm a cute hunter, but I probably woke up like maybe an hour ago, man. So,
Oh, really?
we
Or
went out last night with the boys.
oh,
Hey, so
really? Did you?
yeah, bro. So, hey, bro, I really, I guess I really want to start this out, man. I'm very curious to hear about your childhood growing up in Peru, man. Could you please tell me about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was the first of four, first son of four, all boys. Um, I mean, it's rough. My parents, especially my dad, was very overprotective, so um, it kind of it was a rough childhood. Not really, not really too much fun per se. But that kind of made me take that decision of moving out of the country into you know the states. So kind of rough situations, but
Okay, I'm curious, man. I'm gonna be honest, man. I really don't know much about Peru and Lima specifically. So, is it dangerous? Is that kind of why your father was overprotective, or was there another reason for that?
oh no, it's just family reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing dangerous. I mean, Peru is as still today. I mean, it's like every other country. You always have your dangerous spots here and there, but luckily we're situated in a really safe area. Again, my dad being very overprotected over his kids, kind of keep us safer. So um, I wouldn't be able to tell you much about. It's been about 22 years, 23 years now that I've been in the States since I came here. So it's kind of tough for me to, remember
I understand.
much. Yeah.
Hey, so real quick, man, let me ask you this then, man. Where you are currently in your life and looking back on your childhood, man, I guess can you put into words, I guess how that has affected you as an adult?
To be honest, when I came here by myself, I was like the only uh, family I had was my grandmother in San Francisco the time that I came to Los Angeles, California, and my entire family was back in Peru. So um, without guidance, of your parents or some role model in your life, it was kind of tough for me to to try to follow good or bad per se, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of took it upon my own self to guide myself the right way per se, and I did through you know some phases in my life where I'm not proud of, but it has made me the person I am today. So for not having somebody you know on your back telling you this is right and this is wrong, and me trying to find out as I live, every single day. Um, it was it was tough without family and stuff like that. So, but I'm really proud of what I am today. So,
That's awesome, man. That's legit, bro.
yeah,
Real
yeah.
quick, man. What did your parents do, man?
So, my parents, they don't. My mom owns like a house store. Yes, we have a house where we have our own little store, and she sells all kinds of stuff for the neighborhood. And my dad, he works more with with my uncles, his brothers. So, to be honest, I don't really know much of what they do nowadays,
Uh-huh.
but I know they have my one of my uncles. They have his own business, so they're always working together as family. But
Okay, shut up, bro. Um, going
yeah,
back, going back to Peru, man. Tell me real quick. I guess what were some of your childhood hobbies, man?
soccer, man, soccer. Drawing. And to be honest, I was a really shy boy. Again, and that has to do a lot with my dad being really overprotective over us. So we wouldn't be able to go to parties or anything like that. We always had family gatherings, hanging out with the family, dancing. Dancing was one of the reasons to what that made me a dancer when I first came here. So we used to always have competitions in between all our cousins. My uncle's always busting out, $10, $20. Hey, I got $20 for whoever dances the best. So it was always competing against my cousins, soccer again, um, you know, dancing. My dad got me into dancing since a very young age. Our typical kind of music is called marinera norteña. So it's like a typical Peruvian dance. And my dad used to just wake me up like in the crocodile man and just get me to rehearsals and competitions. I always win first place. Otherwise, it was, I was going to get it back when I get home. So I had to make sure I win those competitions. But
Oh wow, okay, man.
yeah.
Hey, so real quick, man. I definitely want to talk about that, man. But tell me this real quick, man. How important was music in your household growing up?
It was very important, man. I don't know if you do this, but sometimes when I'm cleaning my plates and stuff like that, I like to play background music while I'm cleaning or while I'm you know doing some paperwork or if I'm doing anything, I like to have some kind of music on the background. That comes from my parents, especially my mom and my grandmother, where we used to be at the house early in the morning, man, on the weekends, especially because during the week we were at school, but during the weekends, especially like Saturday morning, you'll start hearing the traditional Peruvian music and family cooking already breakfast and you wake up to music, you eat to music, you sleep to music, you talk to music. So it was very influenced, and music was really an influence in my life. So since very very young.
Okay, and I'm curious.
I want a toy truck. What? But Santa Claus. Oh, hold on one second, Santa Claus. Hold be right back. Hey, if you could leave a like and subscribe for the show, that would be amazing. Let's get back to the episode.
Okay, and I'm curious. I guess listening to you say that traditional Peruvian music. Was it any other types of genres as well being played, or mostly that?
It'll be mostly Latin, yeah, mostly Latin music. So valses. Um, it was more like typical, Peruvian. I mean, I don't know how to explain it
I get you. I
in
understand.
in English terms, but I mean, I think every country has like their own traditional, you know, uh, folklorical music per se.
Uh-huh.
So
Who I guess growing up, who were some really popular artists, man?
Sambo Cabero, uh, Chabuca Granda, Eva Yon, those are the main ones that I could still remember from my young age. My parents, and especially my grandma, used to listen to when we were kids. So you know.
Okay, so no, bro. Tell me about your early dance career. You said your dad kind of got you into that.
Yeah, since little man, I must have been what 6, 7, when he got me into dancing marinera norteña. It's a very traditional Peruvian dance between a boy and a girl, and it was to me, as a young kid, you always wanted to go outside, play, and toys and all that good stuff. But I was just kind of forced into competing from a young age, dancing till like I think it was 9, 10, and it was. I remember just what I remember is me waking up like at 3, 4 in the morning, jump in the car and just drive like hours away for you know competitions, and we'll get there, practice a little bit, and go out there and just like give it my all, and make sure that I will take that trophy back to my house, because my dad was really strict, so it was tough, but
I get you, man. I'm curious, man. I'm curious. Did you grow up enjoying it, or was it something that you actually grew to hate?
actually no, man, I liked it. When I started getting a little older, I really liked it. I guess because I guess the attention that you were getting when you were a kid, you know, um, and just winning, man, just winning was just like a when you hear your name as a winner, it's
Hey,
like this big weight out of my shoulders, just
yeah.
and I'm like, all right, there's another one. So
So it sounds like it was one of those things like you like things you're good at.
yeah, 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 I was yeah. I mean, I
Okay.
don't want to brag, but yeah, I was pretty good. I mean, it all had to do with all them practices and rehearsals and early wake ups and all that stuff. So
I understand. You put that work in, man.
yeah, yeah, man, I had to.
I understand. Yeah. So you're growing up in Peru, man. And I guess tell me, man. I guess what happens after you graduate high school, man? Do you decide to go to work in Peru? Do you decide to go to college? What happens?
Well, yeah, after graduating, high school, an opportunity presented itself where I was taking over to the states, and again, the city that I landed was Los Angeles. So came to Los Angeles. One of my uncles was there, and my grandma at the time, she was in San Francisco. So the language barrier was just really it was new to me, because I just didn't speak the language at all. It was kind of tough for me to you know try to go buy something or order something or have a conversation with somebody, because there was always that barrier. So um, just decided to go ahead and start taking night lessons, English lessons, like ESL lessons at night. It got to the point where I actually stopped hanging out with like Spanish speaking friends of mine, and I started hanging out with the same people that were trying to learn the language at night, which was a diversity of people, Chinese, African, you name it, and so that kind of forced me to interact with them in that second language and not try to speak, Spanish all the time. So that helped me, kind of learn, the language a little bit faster. 6 months, I was able to read, write, understand,
That's awesome.
and just keep practicing. Yeah, yeah,
That's
that that
awesome,
that.
man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's very impressive too, man. Your English is perfect, man. So I'm that's awesome.
Yeah, I wish, man, but sometimes I try to see. I gotta process everything in Spanish in my head, and then as I'm processing those thoughts in Spanish, they're coming out through my mouth in English. So sometimes when you put stuff together in Spanish, it's not necessarily the same as when you say it in English because sometimes it doesn't make sense. But I'm
But
trying, man. I'm
yeah,
trying my
well, I
best.
mean, I can have a conversation with you. That's all that matters, bro. So shucks, bro. I've
Yeah.
been trying to learn. I've been trying to learn Spanish for a minute, bro.
Oh, really? How's
Yeah,
that
man.
going?
Yo puedo hablar un poquito, pero está bien. Um, yeah. So tell me this, man. So you moved to Los Angeles. Tell me, what was that first year like for you? Moving to the United States, moving to a whole new city, pretty much by yourself, man. What was that whole transition? What was that whole experience like?
And I mean, if I can, I don't think there's a word for me to explain how I felt because I was 16 at the time, turning 17. I was always, um, surrounded by family, my mom, my dad, my brothers. Um, eh, and to get to a place where it was Mother's Day still I remember because I called my mother for Mother's Day and it was just like the first Mother's Day that I wasn't part of. 2 months after, or 3 months after was my 17th birthday, and I mean it was just a very tough year, 2 3 years if I want to add, but there was times where I was like, you know what, f this, man. I'm just gonna go back to my family. I don't even know what I'm doing here, and then I will sit and and think about stuff at 16, 17, man. Sit down and talk to yourself and tell yourself that you're here for a reason. You're here to better yourself and in the long run, help out the family and as being the oldest of like I said, of my brothers, it was kind of my duty to as a as family, to kind of look over my mom and my younger brothers. So that just kept me going, man. That's what kept me going here, even though it was tough. But
Yeah, I believe it, man. I definitely understand that, man. You said it was, so it was very intimidating. It was very scary, man. And you might have already answered this question, man. But what gave you the courage to do this, man? Was it your family that what gave you the courage?
yeah, family was always my first priority. Doing better for myself. I know that if I would have stayed back home with the way my my situation was going, it was just gonna be tougher. So me getting away from that situation and kind of you know expanding a little bit, I think it gave me. I think I thought it'll get me a better chance of you know um, growing as a person and in general. So
I
that's
understand,
that's
man.
why
So,
that's why I decided to make that move.
mm, yeah, so I mean, I think I can somewhat imagine this, man. But so you come to the United States, man. Uh, a 16-year-old, I get really an immigrant, right, man? Um, with no degree or anything, man. What were some of your first jobs, man? What were you doing at the time to make money?
So it was I remember my first job. My one of my uncles was in another city, another my mom's brother, and he was a manager of a. I don't think they exist anymore, or I don't know if they do, but they used to be called 24-hour fitness, and then it went into family fitness or something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
They
about.
used
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So he used to manage one of those, and in the same shopping center, I remember, we had El Pollo Loco, and then it was Subway. I remember, So I will, because it was 24-hour fitness, it was open 24 hours. So I will get up like at 6 in the morning, ride my bike from my uncle's house to I would say like an hour ride, maybe
An
hour and a half
hour
ride.
bike ride?
Yeah, hour and a half bike ride from my because at 16, 17, I didn't drive, so I would ride my bike to my first job, which was a Pueblo logo in the morning. Get up in the morning, prep everything, and then right after that, I would go to Subway. I remember wearing the same pants, just changing my shirt, go to Subway, and then from there go to the gym and work, graveyard, and then back. Like sometimes I will stay in the gym. Sometimes I will, get a ride home, but I will leave my bike at the gym, and so sometimes I would ride back with my uncle or stuff like that. But I remember doing that for like a couple months until Subway, I think, had an accident where like the place got burned or caught on fire, and then I quit, the morning job, and then I stayed at the gym for a minute, and then I did like painting and electrical stuff, like all handiwork, pretty much
Hey.
to kind of support myself and be able to send some to my mom.
Yeah, but grinding, man, grinding.
Yeah, yeah,
Nah, I
yeah.
understand that, man.
Back then it was easy, Back then it was a lot easier, but nowadays, it's hard, man.
I gotta ask you this, man. Coming from, I don't want to sound like, I don't be disrespectful or anything, man. But coming from like maybe so little, man, um, having to, essentially really work hard for everything you have now, man. What did that teach you, man?
Uh, there's a saying that this is they say money comes and goes, but it only goes if you don't know how to manage your income. I learned how to appreciate what I was working for a little much, after having everything back at home, where everything was just given to me as a kid, and coming here and not having that, kind of working for it was, made me appreciate that a little bit more. So, okay.
Hey, I understand, bro. Yeah, I understand, man. I definitely understand that. So, 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 so you get to you get to the U.S. and you're working, man. You're grinding real hard, man. You know, I guess were you able? Did you have any free time? Did you have any hobbies once you got here? Anything for enjoyment?
Yeah, I mean, I still got into, I started meeting friends here and there. My family, some of my family were here already, so I would meet their friends and so on. So I was able to meet a lot of people, and always soccer was always included in my life. One time I remember getting into dancing, and I went out one time, and my friend took me to, I don't know what place where it was. I don't remember the name, but you know how yeah, you're in the scene, so you know how the club scene and the dance scene are completely different. Dancing, the dancing, you go out to somebody and regardless who it is, what race it is, or however they dress, you go up and ask somebody to dance, and they pretty much like 99.9% they'll tell you
Exactly.
yes. But if you go to a club, you know, they always judging you for like the way you look, who you came with, like what are you wearing, are you buying a lot of things, are you sitting in a VIP table, so all those things, it kind of matters when you come and ask somebody to dance, and they'll look at you like like you're from another planet or something. And I was like, you know what? So that's how I got into dancing at one point. And when I showed up the first time, I remember going to It was in Los Angeles. It was at the Santa Monica Pier. They used to do dancing on Sundays there by the beach. And I showed up, man, and I was like, what the hell was going on? Like, I thought I knew how to dance, but apparently I didn't. So, you see all those people like spinning and flipping and dipping and, patterns and this and that. And I was like, whoa. And that just, caught my eye. I started dancing. By the time my brother was, my third brother was already here. So he got into it a little more serious than I did. But um, yeah, that I started dancing then. And and then I got into a really bad relationship where you know I went from like 180 to almost 300 and something pounds.
Okay.
So big. And I try to go back to like I wanted to exercise. I wanted to go back to the gym and stuff like that, but it was tough, man. With all that weight on me, it was tough. So I started dancing again, and I was able to lose that weight, really quick. Bachata, man,
Hey, that's that workout.
that was it, man. Yeah. So, but I'm a hardcore, salsero, man. Like I love salsa too.
Okay.
I think I'm a salsero to the bone, but bachata, I like the traditional stuff. Not so much fun of all the new stuff that's coming out nowadays, but like traditional is my thing. And in this business, you kind of have to pretty much be able to be open to liking everything because you never know who's gonna hire you, who's not. So
Right, especially as a hero. I definitely, we're going to get into your dancing and everything, man, and your DJing. But
mhm.
if you don't mind me asking, man, I guess you know, if you don't mind me asking, man, why do you say that previous relationship was bad, man? Why was it a relationship for you?
it was it was just bad. I mean, I very jealousy, overprotective.
On your end
Uh,
or your partner?
my partner, yeah, my partner. So I couldn't do certain things with my friends, and me to try to avoid kind of the situation, I kind of gave in to the point where it was too late for me. So I just decided to walk away from it. I mean, it was bad for me. So health wise, so walk away.
I understand, man. I understand, man. I definitely understand, man. Tell me this, man. I'm very curious to hear. So, you had already grown up dancing, man. Or beginner stage, learning, I guess, salsa in a classroom. What was that like?
To be honest, I hardly took any lessons or workshops or anything like that. Everything was from me going out like on the daily basis. And when I said on the daily basis, I mean Monday through Sunday, like
Hey.
every single night, man. It was, I had a group of people that, it was also starting to dance just, the way I was. And we started just going out every single day, Monday through Sunday. LA has a lot of options for you on a daily basis. So if one place wasn't popping, we'll go to the other one and we'll drive to the other one, and it was just like that. Um, and that's how I decided to learn. Sometimes I go and watch people. I just stand there and watch, film. I remember filming, go back to my house, look at the film and try to get the pattern, try to figure it out myself at home. Um, but again, most of the time it was just going out, repetition, and just keep going out, keep going out, keep trying until you keep it, and then it
Hey.
got just easier from there.
Okay. Okay, I definitely understand it. So let me ask you this, man. Would you recommend that learning style to someone else?
I mean, it depends, you know. I know people that have been dancing for a very long time, and I know people that haven't, and the ones that haven't, you know, maybe sometimes it has to do with the way they're being instructed, you know. For me, it worked that way. I wouldn't tell people, hey, don't go take lessons. You know, I know like taking lessons is always you always learn something. You take something away from any workshops, any classes, or anything like that. Especially from people that have been doing this for several years. So, um, but I wouldn't sit there and tell you, hey man, don't take lessons. Just a waste of time. Just go out every day. You know, I mean, you have to kind of go out every day, or not every day, but most of the time in order to practice what you're learning because it doesn't make any sense for you to take a lesson Monday, come back next Monday, and then if you haven't practiced or put it to practice or dance or anything, you're always gonna forget.
At what point did you start, or how did you get introduced to DJing, man? How did that come about?
Yeah. So at the time, my brother was already living in Atlanta, and I used to come here and visit like every now and then we'll come and spend some time with him and he will run socials and stuff like on the monthly basis. We will go to like other events, clubs, or anything like that. At one point, I just made the decision of just you know leaving everything in LA, put everything on a U-Haul truck, and drive here like 3 hours, maybe. I mean, not 3 hours. I'm sorry,
That's
3 days.
more.
Since I said
Yeah.
3 hours, I was too close. Yeah, like 3 or 4 days. One of my best friends, he was a truck driver, so he took some time off, and he knew the roads, so we just started driving one day out of out of the blue, and on our way to Atlanta, Georgia. Um, Came
And so,
here.
and real quick. So yeah, you moved to LA in '96, and you moved to ATL in 2010.
About 2009, I will
Okay.
say nine, 2000, ending of 2008, beginning of 2009.
Okay.
Yeah, and I showed up, surprised. I wasn't not a surprise, but like my brother already know that I was coming. So then, I continue, dancing, my work, in the mornings, and then one day, I remember we were doing a Tuesday night at a place called the Sanctuary. It's a nightclub here in Atlanta, and we were doing Tuesday nights just to try it out. And I remember I'm not sure my brother was being late or the DJ wasn't gonna make it. So throughout the years of dancing back in California, I got really, it became really good friends with all the DJs out there, and I will always gather music, you know, CDs, audio files, memories, all that stuff. So I will, put everything into my computer, make CDs, you know, you name it. So one night, I remember my brother called me. He's like, "Hey man, can you start the music?" And I said, "Oh yeah, sure, man." So I started the music. I'm playing music for like maybe 2 hours, and the owner of the club happened to be there. He's a Cuban guy, and he comes out to me. He's like, "Man, I haven't heard music like that in years. Like, where'd you get your music from? This and that." And I told him, I said, "I have a lot of friends that are DJs, and I always gather music from them. And when I used to go out dancing, he's like, you think you want to come out here on a Friday night and DJ for the club?" I was like, dude, I'm not a DJ. My computer. I was hooked up to an artillery line, and I was just playing from iTunes, like what I have in my computer. He's like, no, don't worry about it. Like people here don't really, care much about that. And I was like, nah, man, I'm not gonna try that. And he goes, just come on Friday. So I remember a week went by, second week went by, and I thought about it. And I said, you know what? I go on YouTube. I try to figure it out. Like, what's to, what does it take to start doing this stuff? So, you know, they tell you about controllers and softwares and this and that, and I was like, okay, let me go ahead and try it out. So, buy the software, not a controller, just the software on my computer. I remember go to the club. I remember going like an hour and a half early just to set up and make sure that I was getting sound out and all that stuff. And then and it just it went from there, man. First Friday that I was there, they were complaining about the DJ that they had. So with somebody new into the mix, it was kind of like a refreshing thing for the crowd, and the crowd was really content with the music, really happy. And I think that as a dancer, the I, I have that advantage to kind
Right,
of
right,
have an
right.
idea, or what to be able to play for whichever crowd I had, and so it just took off from there, man. Guy, the owner comes and he's like, "Hey, man, can you come another Friday, like one Friday off and one Friday on? So like the other day, I will cut him off for 2 Fridays, and I will give you 2 Fridays." And I said, "Bro, like," I said, "Okay, whichever." So then I went to a music store, got my DJ controller, my software, and I started just practicing at home. Just practicing at home, what I was doing. And the funny thing is that, the mixing part was just tricky because,
Right.
it was like my second day, maybe, doing this thing. And so I told him, I said straight out, I said, I'm not going to mix because I don't have no idea of how to mix. I have no idea how to do this, how to do that, how to use this, how to use that. So he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just go for it." So I said, "Okay." Bought me a controller. Showed up the next Friday after that. Did the same thing. People were like super happy, talking to the owner, talking to the bartender. Who's like, "Who's that guy? Who's that guy over there? Plays really good music, blah, blah, blah." And then one day, the owner calls me. He's like, "Hey, man, you know what? I'm just going to give you all Fridays from now." And I was like,
Hey,
"What do you
hey, hey.
it's like he's like, yeah, man, we fired the other guy. We had so many complaints, blah blah blah. And then and then I just took it a little bit more serious and serious every time, and yeah, I mean, it was fun, it was fun. I'm very thankful of that place actually giving me the opportunity, out of without knowing, what was gonna happen because it's a business, it's a club,
Right,
it's a
exactly.
business.
Yeah.
It's different if it was a studio and you mess it up and then fucking nobody cares it's a studio, but a club, it's a business, a known business. So um, I worked at me for 3 years. Then I had a fallout with the owner, and then I started um, getting gigs like outdoor gigs, like festivals and stuff like that. Then I started working with my brother, and then eventually I just went separate ways. So I started just letting myself know. So I will, they will call me from like people that work here or dance schools that work here that notice me and work with other events, let's say out of states. They will call me and say, "Hey man, this so and so recommended me, or recommend, or, maybe have me call you. I want to hire you for this Congress and this Congress." I remember my first Congress was out of state. It wasn't even in state, from Atlanta. So my first Congress was Charlotte. And I went there, the guy was like, "You know what? Because nobody knows you, because you knew this and that. We're not gonna we're not gonna compensate you, but we'll give you a room in your pass. I was just happy to make my presentation at the Congress.
Yeah, of
That's all I
course.
needed
Uh-huh.
exposure. So that was my first one. Then other promoters noticed me, and then I was in Hansville, and then so and so, and then until today, man. I'm now, I keep, as you can see, I have the reason why I collect vinyl. It's not just because I like music. Is there's certain um, records that they mostly they come with information on the back or on the record itself, or you can go online and find out what you have, what you're holding and stuff like that, and that kind of helps you understand a little bit better how this record was made, what year was made, you know, uh, the songs, etc. So
I get you. I definitely say that, man. You have quite the collection behind you, bro.
yeah, I mean not as much, but it's what I like.
Yeah,
So
that's probably easy over what, maybe 150, 200?
here,
Right behind you. How many is that? It's gotta be over 100 at least.
try 1200.
Okay, let's say, I said at least, bro. Hey,
Yeah, but I know, and the reason why I said little because I know people that have 10,000, 20,000 records.
you a
So
crate digger. You crate digging, bro. I know what that is. Hey,
yeah,
hey, but real quick, man, real quick, tell me this, man. Going back to when you first got into DJing, man. You kind of spoke on it a little bit, man. But tell me about your beginner stage, man. What was that like learning to DJ, man?
I mean it's like everything. It's like when you're trying to ride a bike. You got to start with training wheels, and then little by little you push yourself into do a little bit better, and then you take one off, the second one off, and then you go. So I think it's just like anything else that you want to learn that you don't have any experience of. It was fun for me. I said I will come home sometimes from work, and set up my computer with my controller, play some music and try new things. I will go on YouTube. I will ask friends. I remember calling kind of, a lot of my friends um, to kind of, guide me through what this was or what this do and stuff like that. And, you know, shortcuts on the computer. And, because I will see people even having their controllers use their computer for shortcuts, and, music will pop up from like different ways. I was like, how'd you do that, man? How'd you, and, little things like that. But mostly it was just coming home and practice. I remember one day I was playing my music too loud. I think my neighbor knocked on my door and was like, "Hey man, I really love your music, but can you bring it down a little bit?" And I said, "I'm sorry, man. I just got too excited, but I bring it down." But yeah, man. I mean, it was fun. It was fun for me. You know.
Yeah, I understand. Real quick, so let me ask you this then, man. Knowing everything that you know now, man, um, can you give me any, words of wisdom, any hints or tips to any aspiring DJs out there right now, man? People who want to get into this field.
You just gotta invest, man. That's my strongest advice. I could say, you gotta invest the quality of, especially with the kind of music that I play, because again, like I told you before, I'm a hardcore salsero. So all the new stuff that's coming out nowadays, even the salsa, um, with all the technology that I mean, we're 2019 now, so almost 2020. The quality of the music now is way better than way back, 60s, 70s, 80s. So extracting music from a record into a digital form now, is available. So but it's not the same. Like it's not, it's not the same because this things are being recorded, for years and years ago. So investing in equipment, good quality, good sound cards, uh, purchasing your music, uh, nowadays, everybody just, I don't want to say everybody, but I know people that rip their music straight out of YouTube, and believe it or not, when you hear a song on YouTube, yeah, it might sound good on your computer, on your phone, but when you're playing that live
The
for
sound quality is
a
still,
lot
it's
of
still the
people,
greatest sound quality. Yeah.
yeah. So those little things, like I said, invest in what you're, you know, I haven't lost that passion of, like, I love. Don't get me wrong, I love dancing, because that, I grew up dancing since I was really little, but it's just a different feeling for me when I'm behind the booth and I can see hundreds of people, dancing to what I'm giving,
Right,
and
right, right.
so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's just a rewarding feeling for me. So yeah, man, that'll be my strongest advice is invest, music, sound. Um, the better the quality, the better the sound. So
Mm. I understand that, bro. I definitely understand that. Tell me this, man. I'm very curious to hear about this, man. When you have a gig, you're about to play, man. I guess like, what's your mindset? I guess like as far as the music you're gonna play. Do you have a playlist? How do you go about putting on the best show for the people?
okay, so yeah, so I used to, back then when my very beginnings, I used to create a playlist of what I was gonna DJ, you know, and I will come home and I'll say, okay, I'll listen to the song and I'll be like, I'll get up and and kind of try to dance to it. Be like, oh yeah, this is danceable. I'll add it. But then when you're at the moment, it's different, because you're right there, you're watching people are giving you that energy back towards where you feel like you can do a little bit better than what you just picked. So and then you just start looking for something that and you got to read the crowd too, like the mood, and all those factors come into play. So I stopped doing playlists. I just I organize all my music to a way where it's easy to find, you know um and so I'll get there, and at the beginning it's always the ones that are taking the beginner class, people that are uh, or I mean beginner advanced or beginner intermediate, and and so you gotta play a different kind of set of music for that people, not too fast, not too slow, something enjoyable, something that will get them up and stuff like that. And then when you start seeing all the dancers, the dancers like to come like super. I don't know why, man, but they always like to come like at a later time. So that's when I just let loose. I just start going through a certain different type of music or vibe of music, and then just take it from there. So I stopped doing playlists. Right now, for instance, after we hang up, I'll start creating my list. Got to get ready for the shows tonight. Got to upload that music, make sure that I don't have a problem. I'll test it here, make sure I don't have a problem. I like to go to the studio like 5 6 hours before just to set up. Go set up my sound, take my time, my chairs, my tables, get the studio ready. Sound check, mic check, all that good stuff. Make sure the floor is not slippery for my shows. Put banners, all kinds of stuff. And now I just come home, chill off a little bit, get ready, head back out, and start the night. So
I understand that, man. It's like, and I can kind of tell, man. I guess I don't know if like a perfectionist is the right word, but you really care about this. You're concerned about the whole
Yeah,
process.
yeah. Well, you actually got it right, man. And I don't know if that's a good quality or as a bad quality, but I am a perfectionist, man.
Okay.
Every detail for me matters. You know, when you're providing any kind of service, you know, to your public or to your clientele, regardless of you paying $1 at the door or $10 or $20 at the door, that person that's giving you their money, you know, their work earning money, they're expecting to get their money's worth. So
Right.
it doesn't make sense for you to go to a place where you pay $10 and they don't even approach you as you come in, or they don't socialize with you. Like that's one of the things I do with when I'm doing these things. I first, like, I'm really good with faces. I'm really bad with names, but I'm really good with faces, and I can tell who's here for the first time, who's here for the second time, who hasn't been here for a long time. And I will come up, and as a host, you have to make them feel welcome. And hey man, good to see you, or what's your name, how did you hear about us. I'll make sure you like our page. If you want to get notifications of like newer events or upcoming events, or pictures. I got my camera, take a lot of pictures. And if you want to see the pictures, you can visit us here, here, and here. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to come and ask me. I'm here at the booth. You can come to the front desk. Any questions you have, any concerns. So those kind of things, um, make you feel a lot more welcome. Like people, start thinking, I was like, you know what? I think I'll come back again. This was fun. I'll do it again, and that's how you create, your clientele, you take taking care of mainly others before yourself. I think that's worked for me as so far. So I've been running this event for 4 years now straight. um and I'll tell you about bunch of Tuesdays because that's another story. But um yeah, I guess you can say I'm a perfectionist. Yeah, I like everything to be not entirely perfect but semi-perfect. So
Yeah, I understand that, man. That's actually a wonderful thing for people who want to come out, man. Tell
yeah.
me, tell me this real quick, man. For other people out there who want to, host really good events, what I'm saying, or wanting to host parties or festivities of any of that nature, man. You kind of spoke on it, but any other hints and tips? You said try and make sure people get their money's worth, right? But any other hints you could give
Yeah.
people?
You have to be humble, man, too. Humble. You have to be humble in this business. Don't matter how long you've been dancing, you've been doing this for, you got to stay in your ground. I'm a big believer of if I'm hosting an event and I see 6 or 7 or 10 ladies sitting down, why would I be dancing by myself by the diva? Why would I start showing off what I know by the diva when I can just grab one person and make their night, make the other people's night? So I tend to always stay humble. That's main key, I think. Um, Again, just socialize with your clientele, man. Just make their night, make them feel welcome. That's key, man.
Tell me this real quick, man. I guess when you're in the moment, when you're doing a party, man, how how do you determine, what song to play next? How do you read the crowd? How do you go about that?
I mean, that's always been really tough to explain for me. And you're not the first person that asked me that question, but I don't know. It's just like I don't really know how to explain it, to be honest. But you just have to be in the moment. You can be playing like slow tempo. salsa where people are, enjoying it a little bit, or whichever, and then you said, okay, I know another song in my mind that kind of goes with what we're doing right now, but it'll also upbeat the tempo a little bit so that the energy changes a little bit on the floor, and then you go from there, and then and so on to the point where you get to the last song. For instance, like me, for instance, I like to keep it. I like to go like this. I don't like to go up and down, because if you play like a 100 miles per hour song, for instance, right? You get people dancing really quick, really fast. They get tired, and they go sit for the next two. So I'd
Right,
rather
right.
just have them dance, 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 and then I'll make the last song a little bit faster, right? So what they do is they think I was like, okay, I'm gonna go sit down after this one. Then boom, I switch it to bachata. They're like, oh snap, I want to dance bachata now. So then I keep him I keep him dancing. I keep him moving. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I like to do, man.
So it sounds like what you're saying though is really important to be in the moment though,
Yeah,
to be
you
present.
have to be in the moment. You have to feel their vibe, their energy. I'm a big believer of that. I have to see it, in order
Hmm.
to decide at the moment what goes best with what. It's just really tough for me to, ever explain that to people. Like I
I,
said, you're not the only person.
I mean, but I think that really I think that's a good way to put it though, man. I think that's anything in life, man. When you're present in the moment, it improves anything you're doing. You're not just going through the motions.
Yeah, and I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? Like I'll make a mistake here and there. Maybe I played the wrong song at the wrong time, but you learn from it. You know what I mean? You learn from it, and then you tend to do better the next time or the next song. You know, so that's why I think at the moment, like you said, uh, it matters more than for me to kind of plan it out and said, okay, maybe it'll get like this at this time, and I should play this now. And I wouldn't be able to tell you that.
I
So
understand. Yeah. Um, I'm real quick. I got a couple more questions for you, man. But I'm very curious. I don't know if you can do this, but can you tell me, man, what are some things that you've learned from, dancing, from DJing, that you're able to translate to your everyday life? Are there any things you've learned from it?
uh, organized, man. I think it's for me it was the other way around. For me, being organized in general keeps me organized in my DJ life. Not the other way around. I mean, from dancing and and DJing, not really anything that has uh, helped me, do better in life. I will say. I mean, but it's always been the other way around for me. Um, I'm a really organized person. I like to be super clean, you know, and me, like I said earlier, when I go set up the studio for the event, I like to. I don't like people helping me out. Like, oh, let me help you out. Let me put, because I have a way to, do things.
Like a
So
process.
like, yeah, like a process, yeah. So that way I know where everything is at the next time I'm actually setting that for my next event. I know where I put this, I know where I put that, I know how I fold it, or whichever the case. So it's just an entire process for me, setting up and then setting up the place. So I'll tell my friends, okay, yeah, go ahead and bring the speaker down, just leave it there, man. Or put the stand together, but don't touch the cables because I'll go ahead and organize those myself. That there's people that don't do this, so they just
Right,
and
right,
then they
right.
just talk to you, and I'm like, okay, that will work because I have to unroll it again, and then I have to do it the right way, put it the way I found it. So That's what works for me.
Now I understand, man. I'm curious. Are you are you able to do this full time, man? Is this your full time job now, or?
No, 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 not at all, man. I'll probably, it probably, I wouldn't have the time to be talking to you at this time if I had to do this for full
Okay.
time. Um, no, no, I do have my, my regular eight. I would say 6 to 3 every
Mm.
Monday through Friday, and this is mainly, you know, uh, it just became a business a couple months ago. But yeah, this is totally a side gig for my day job. So
Is that a future goal of yours? To, to be able to do this full time? Is that something you would like to do?
I mean, I wouldn't leave my job uh, to pursue DJing full time. I wouldn't do that, no matter how good of a life or nightlife I'm having. Um, Most of the things that I do um, at this point in my life is, again, one, mainly my family. Two, the future of myself and my relationship, and just enjoy life, man. I live life like one day at a time, so I don't. I know we all have our time. Everything is written, and the only one that knows when we're going is the guy up there. So I think if I ever live this planet, I'll be happy because everything that I've done, I done because I chose to do it, not because I was forced to do it. Or I feel like I had to do it. So I don't have any regrets. Just the fact that I think if I would have my family, you know, with me, or I was able to be with my family, that would be perfect. But sometimes you gotta sacrifice
Right, right,
to,
right.
you know. So that's the only part that sucks. But other than that, man, I mean, I have no regrets.
Okay, I understand that, bro. I definitely understand that, man. I wanna I really want to thank you, DJ Mike, for taking time out of your day to talk to me, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh no, man, my pleasure, man. Thank you for actually, you know, giving me the opportunity.
Of course, man. Real
I
quick,
know
man.
it's funny how a lot of people don't know each other. A lot of people know each other from the scene, but don't really know each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you see this person like every time you go out dancing, but you don't really have an idea of what that person
Yeah.
has been through or is going through or whatever. So it's a perfect way to get to know people. So
Definitely, man. Definitely, man.
yeah.
Real quick, man. Tell me, what are some of your upcoming events, man? What do you have going on in your life?
Well, my like tonight, I have my second Saturdays, my Tumbao Dance Social.
About.
That's every second Saturday of the month. First, third, and fifth Tuesdays of the month, we have our Bacha Tuesdays. So Bacha Tuesdays is a night of bachata with a splash of salsa. I've learned to, and I got this out of like all the congresses that I've been to. I happened to learn that, or to see actually how people, go from one room to the other, you know, and especially nowadays with bachata growing so much. Um, I think the combination of salsa and bachata has worked out for me, you know, perfectly. So, and the reason why Bachatuza was created was also because of tumbao. Tumbao. The format of tumbao is like salsa, bachata. I mean salsa, guaguancó, mambo, guajiras, chachas, son montunos, bugalús, etc. and there's a splash of bachata, and a lot of the bachateros were not showing up because we don't play a lot of bachata. To be honest, we play like 3 or 4 bachatas every set of we'll play with the rest of the time. So
Okay.
so one day I thought of LA, Los Angeles, having so many places to go out, so many options to go dancing. I just decided to one night go to a place and talk to the owner and say, look, man, this is what I want to do. I want to have a bachata night here, and I think it's gonna work. And he agreed, and from there, also, took off. So Bachata Tuesday was created based on me not playing a lot of bachata at Zimbabwe. So that's every first, third, and fifth Tuesday of the month that we have our bachata nights, 8 to 12. Being that it's a weekday, gives people time to go back home, get ready for work the next morning, including myself, since I wake up like at 5:30 in the morning every single day. So it gives me time to get ready to go to work the next day. So that's that. And then I became a partner of the Atlanta Salsa and Bachata Festival last year, and this year, 2020 actually, 2020, uh, we're having our Congress, our third year, 4 year Congress. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing on my own now. Things that I'm being part of, like Bailacura and Rally. I'll be in Bailacura this month. Um, and little, socials here. I do socials here and there for the Atlanta community, and yeah, man, I just try to stay as active as possible.
I'm real curious to hear, man. I've only visited Atlanta a couple of times, man. Real quick, tell me, what is the dance scene like in Atlanta, and is there a lot of competition, for Latin events?
You know what? Not really, man. We've learned to, give each other our own space per se. Everybody has their set days every month. So first Fridays, we got um, Adma Studio that they have their social every first Fridays of the month. First Saturdays, we got Proyecto Barrio, which is a dance company here in Atlanta. They also host their socials every first Saturdays. Second Fridays, we got a bachata night. It's like 100% bachata. And then second Saturdays, I have, tumbao. Then third Fridays, we have Dances Paradise. Fourth Saturday, third Saturdays, we have Mambo Mayhem. Fourth Fridays, we got Dulce Sensual. That's another bachata mixed with merengue and salsa night. And then fourth Saturdays is Paso Fino Dance Social. So everybody kind of found their own, you know, perfect days per se
That's awesome.
to do their social. So we try to help each other out, and we try to. Me personally, I try to be neutral and just support every event. If I'm in town, sometimes I'm not in town, so I'm either in Chattanooga or Memphis or Orlando or Florida or Huntsville, Birmingham. You call it. So, but when I'm in town, I try to attend all them socials because that also allows them to come and support me as well. So but yeah, it's growing. If you asking about the scene, it's grown from probably
Okay.
when was the last time you were here?
Ooh, man, Atlanta, man. Oh, it's been a while, man. It's been a while,
Yeah,
and
man,
and
you
and not
gotta
as an
come.
adult.
Oh yeah, well you gotta come and check it out. And we got dancing every weekend of
I
the
say
month. So
you named pretty much every social for the month, bro. You're really you're really in that scene.
Yeah, I mean, I also have, my website. I created a website. A lot of the and I don't wanna sound bad or anything, but I seen a couple of websites where the only thing they their share is their own stuff.
I've
Like,
seen that
oh,
too. Yeah.
me, and more than me. And I'm like, why has nobody created something where you can share what's going on in your city? And that's what I did. I and without them, without any of them telling me, hey, Mike, can you put this on your website or anything like it, I took it upon myself to to you know create it, design it. I do a little bit of design. I design on my flyers and stuff like that too. So for all my events, so on the design point of view, I was able to design it to a way where it's easier for people to just find what's going on in Atlanta. A lot of people ask me, hey man, I'm coming from Miami or this city or this city. What's going on in Atlanta? And I would have to go find everything of every single person and share it. So one day I said, you know what? I'm just gonna put everything on my website, and that's what I did. And so now when people ask me, I just share the link of my website, send it to them, and now they can choose whichever day of the month. I included a calendar in there where if you see it, it's and every single day that something is going on, it'll pop up, and say, okay, September 14th, Tumbarton Social, September 15th, Go Galana, Tuesday, Bacha Tuesday. Monday won't show up because we don't have nothing on Mondays, but Wednesdays, there's a club here, Tony Groove, Thursdays, Friday, Saturday, and like that every single day of the week. So, and I try to update that website on the monthly basis because
That's
we
awesome.
got photos here every month. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people were happy when I created that website, and I'm able to share with others, and any pointers, anything that you might see that's missing, people will tell me, hey Mike, it'll be good if you had this and that.
That's all. Yeah, that's
Okay.
awesome, man. People appreciate
Yeah.
that, man. Yeah, you putting information out there. Yeah.
Makes it easy. Makes it
Yeah,
easier
man.
for people to
Exactly.
find stuff about your city. So yeah, not only that too, not only dancing, but like some people wanna know what to do during the day. So I put attractions there. You can go to the Coca-Cola Museum, the aquarium. You can go to Stone Mountain. All that information is on my website. So and linked up to each other's websites or event pages or
That's awesome,
Facebook
man.
pages. Yeah, man. So yeah, that's you need to come out here, man.
I'm so with it, bro. I'm
Get
so
some.
with it, man.
Are
um,
you
so
are you are you like are you a bachata lover or are you a salsa lover?
I do a little bit. I do both, man. So I started salsa 8 years ago, man. When I was like 2021, man, and transitioned from salsa
Okay.
into bachata, and then got into kizomba, Brazilian zouk, man. So I love it all, man.
We have a little bit of everything here. We got the souk scene too that's also growing. Kizomba scene, not so much. We don't see as much, but definitely bachata, salsa, and kizomba in that order. So, I mean,
That's
souk. I
awesome. I get you. Yeah, I'm
mean.
so with it, bro. Real quick, tell me this, man. You kind of already spoke on it, but how can people reach out to you? How can they get in contact with you?
Either my website, www.djmikearana.com, or my Facebook page. Usually, I have a couple pages that I manage, like the Atlanta Salsa and Bachata scene. As one of the pages that I manage on Facebook. The Atlanta Salsa and Bachata Festival. That's another one, and mainly through there, they just people that have liked my page before, or they see all the stuff that we post on those pages. They just reach out and, hey man, without knowing that it's actually me, the one that's actually replying back. Some people from Atlanta that haven't gone out in years. we'll reach out and say, hey, what's going on tonight or what's going on this weekend, or whichever the case. So, but yeah, that's mainly, uh, you know, uh, those page, my Instagram page. That one I like to keep it a little more private because it's more about not so much about DJing and my events and stuff like that. It's more about like my personal life. I like biking, soccer. I
I
like
say you,
to
you have what is it called? A bike bachata? What is it? Bike.
yeah, bike chateros. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got into when I was playing soccer. I almost broke my ankle playing soccer
Shut.
one time, and I was out for like a month and a half, and a month and a half of not working, not DJing, not dancing, not anything. And it was just hard. So once I got better, I decided to do biking, to try biking, and you know, I used to bike back in Peru. We used to bike a lot with my cousins and stuff like that, and it just got easier for me. And I used to take you know pictures, and and that's one of the things that I also say. That pictures usually sell what a lot of people tend not to read anymore. You can create a massive event. You put all kinds of information you want on the event. People won't read it. But if you put a nice picture, like something that calls their attention or catches their eye,
Yeah.
they'll pay attention to the picture. Now, if you put that information on the picture, they'll read it. But if you don't, you don't. But that's what I used to do. I used to go out biking, taking pictures, this and that. And a couple of my friends will call me like, "Hey, man, next time let me know. We'll go bike together or whatever." And that's how I started, bringing all the dancers together too. My dancer friends who, come and meet up early morning, and we'll go. And most of these guys were bachateros, so bachata were bike chata, that kind of rhymes a little bit. So I just said, yeah, well, we'll bike chateros, and I'll carry my speaker, my backpack, and play some music, go right. We'll stop at a certain point if we got like girls and guys on the group, and we'll dance for a little bit, like um, interact with the crowd and stuff like that, and we'll get back on the bike and keep going. And we made it a thing back when it was summertime, and so we might be doing that again, but
That's awesome, man. That's really cool, yeah. That's something that's different. I've never heard of something like that, honestly.
yeah, man, it's different. You should try to keep people active besides dancing, outdoors event, hiking, and all that the good stuff we uh, we used to do. So just try to. That's another way to get to know the person that you're riding with. You sit down, chat a little bit, find out what's going on in their lives and stuff like that. And again, the main thing was just to stay active because again, I couldn't play soccer anymore, so I just didn't want to. I didn't want to risk it again. So I think biking is not safe anyways, but but we don't go riding on the streets and stuff like that. We go to trails, and so it's safer that way.
I get you. I understand that, man. I understand that, man. See, like I said, Mike, I really want to thank you, man, for taking time out your here to talk to me, man.
I no, I appreciate you reaching out, man, and hopefully I was able to answer all your questions.
You did a good job, man. Really, I really just want to get to know you, man. It's that's simple right there.
Yeah, it works, man. That works. I mean,
Yeah, bro.
anything, man.
Yeah. Hey, showing up, man. See ya, Mike. I really appreciate it, man. I guess this is wrap it up for this episode of To the Few Podcast, man. Thank you so much, Mike.
I appreciate you too, man. Thank you for the
Yeah,
call.
no doubt, bro. Take it easy, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, man.
You too, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
That's all it is. Hey everyone, if you made it this far to all the way to the end of the video, I want to thank you so much. Um, my overall goal with making these interviews and these episodes is to give a voice to dancers, to give them a platform to speak their story. So if this is of value to anyone, then that means the world to me. My overall goal is to give value to the dance community. So if you find no value in this, then I urge you to please let me know where I can improve on. Um, I I truly want to, just uh, give value and content to the dance community. So please let me know how I can improve, where I'm messing up, because to be 100% honest with you, I'm learning along the way as I do this. I truly am. So to be able to interact with the dance community, it means the world to me because it gives me feedback and it lets me know what I'm doing right, where I can improve upon. What I'm doing wrong, which I feel like might maybe more important. So please, if you all could comment and just let me know what you think, it means the world to me because that feedback just helps me improve. So um, please comment as well. Please like and subscribe. That means a lot as well. But I want to say thank you so much for just watching this because it means the world to me. I want to take you on this journey of the Two Left Feet podcast. I'm very excited for it. So, once again, thank you so much.